Question 36. Given that x varies inversely as the square of y and varies directly as z or z, if x equals 4, y equals 1, and z equals 1, find x if y equals 3 and z or z equals 2. This is a variation question, and let's just go back and get out the data. Given that x varies inversely as the square of y, that's inversely as the square of y. Let's say we have our x here, then you do your variation sign, varies inversely as the square of y. Inversely means 1 over y squared, and varies directly as z. X also varies directly as z. So if it varies directly as z, and this kind of question is a joint variation question, when you have one varying to two others on the other side, it's either is partial or joint. And if it's joint, in this case, you have to multiply the first variable on the right times the second variable. But if it's partial, you will know from the question. You hear words like partially constant and the likes. So here you have times varies directly to z, not the square of z. You have your z like this. Now you've created your variation. And now on the next line, we change this variation sign to equals to sign and introduce a constant. We have x equals k, which is our constant, times, you have to multiply the constant, times 1 over y squared times z. On the next line, we have x equals k times 1 over y squared times z. Now, looking at what we've been given, if x is 4, y is 1, and z is 1, this is just to help us to find our k constant. The first piece of information you get is to help you find your constant, which you use as a standpoint to find whatever you're told to find, or create the formula and show the relationship between the variables. So we have our x equals 4, our y equals 1, and our z or z equals 1. With this, we'll find our k. You can still rewrite this as x equals, you can make this k over 1 and this z over 1, make them fractions. You can have k times 1 is k. It's like 2 times 1 is 2. Anything times 1 is the same thing. So you have k times 1k, then times z. So you can choose to join them together. You can have kz over the denominator. You have 1 times y squared is y squared. Y squared times 1 is still y squared. So you have over y squared. We can now insert our numeric values into our x, y, and z and find our k. Using this, our x is 4 equals our k is unknown times, this k is linked to this z by times or by multiplication sign. So you have k times, our z here is 1 times 1 over our y is 1. So we have it as 1, our y is squared. So you have it as 1 squared. Now we have this, we can find our k. K is the only unknown here. So we have 4 equals k times 1 is k over, you have 1 square. 1 square is 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So it's still 1 squared is 1. So you have it as 1. Here we have 4 equals k over 1. Anything divided by 1 is that number. So k divided by 1 is k. It's like 2 divided by 1. So k divided by 1 is k. You can still say k equals 4. 4 equals k, k equals 4, the same thing. Now that we know our k is 4, we can now go back to this where we've created a formula and insert k into it, because k is the only constant. Your x can change, and if your x changes, it affects your y and your z, but k doesn't change no matter what you do. So we found our k. We can find whatever the question would ask us to find based on what we are given. Now that we've figured out that our k is 4, we can now insert it here. K equals 4. We have x equals k z or k times z over y squared. Now we're going on to substitute k with its numeric value, which is 4. So we have x equals 4z over y squared. Now, going back to the question, they said find x if y is 3 and z or z is 2. Now we'll be asked to find x. We've created the formula that can help us solve any question as regards this variation, which is x equals 4 is our constant, times z or 4z over y squared. We've been asked to find x if y is 3 and z is 2. X equals 4 times, our z here is 2 over We know y is 3, so this is 3 square. 3 square. We can then go on to solve this fraction. So we have x equals 4 times 2 is 8 over 3 square is 3 times 3. You can have it as 3 times 3, that's 8 over 9. X is therefore 8 over 9. That's our answer. From our options, our answer is D, that's 8 over 9.